This is the video for Lesson 1-1 in Chapter 1 titled A Plan for Problem Solving. Notice at the beginning of every lesson, you'll see the essential question on the left here in the green panel. The essential question for Chapter 1 is how can you use numbers and symbols to represent mathematical ideas? This essential question is at the top of each of your note sheets. Also at the top of each of your note sheets is the what you'll learn statements. In this case, in this lesson, you'll be learning the 4-step plan on how to solve problems, and you're going to be able to solve multi-step problems. I have changed both of those what you'll learn statements into I can statements, and so the way that will read is I can use the 4-step plan to solve problems, and I can solve multi-step problems. If I scroll down the page a little bit, you'll see that the vocabulary is also in the green panel. In this case, we just have one concept to define. And sometimes the key concepts will show up on your note sheets. Other times, I just want you to read through that in your textbook. And so the key concept here is the 4-step plan, which is understand, plan, solve, and check. And so you need to write those 4 words on your note sheet. At the bottom of the page here, we do have the vocabulary word highlighted, and go ahead and read through any vocabulary words and write those definitions down on your note sheet. Let me just toggle here to a couple other resources that you have. On your Chapter 1 outline, Lesson 1-1, you can also find the what you'll learn statements there. And you have your vocabulary, and then you have your homework for Lesson 1-1. And then here is your note sheet. Again, the Chapter 1 essential question is right up there at the top, and you have the title of the lesson, and then you need to write in the rest of the what you'll learn statements in these 2 blanks. Here's your area for your vocabulary, and at the bottom, this is where I'm going to work out a couple of different problems from the textbook and maybe also from the homework assignment. So it's really important that you watch these videos and you get the information that I'm giving, and then let me know if you have any additional questions so that I can make sure and address those. So going back to the textbook, we're going to take a look at page 3, problem number 2. And so let me go ahead and get to that page. At the bottom here, we have a rectangular garden is 12 meters long and 9 meters wide. A border is sold in 1.5 meter sections. How many sections are needed to surround the garden? Well, in this case, to understand the problem, I'm going to use the strategy of drawing a picture. So I'm jumping to my plan stage, which is to draw a diagram. So I do know that the garden is 12 meters long. Okay, so I'm going to label that 12 meters long, and then 9 meters wide. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of my rectangle there. And we need to find the length around the outside because it says the border is sold in 1.5 meter sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve by finding the perimeter. If this is 12, then this is also 12 if it's a rectangular shaped garden. So that's a total of 24. Okay, and then I have 9 for my width, and then a 9 over here, and 9 plus 9 is 18. So when I add up those dimensions here, I get a total of 42 meters. Okay, so 42 meters is not my answer, that's just the perimeter. And so what I need to do is divide that by 1.5 meter, because each of the border pieces is sold in 1.5 meter sections. Okay, so I'm going to take 42 divided by 1.5, and it looks like I'm going to need 28 pieces of border. So how many sections are needed to surround the garden? My answer would be 28 sections. Okay, and make sure you label your problems with the proper label. In this case, sections is what the question is asking. And since 28 times 1.5 equals 42, that is, the answer is reasonable. Okay, so I want you to show that work, what I just did here, on your note sheet right in this box right here. Okay, the next one I'm going to look at is on page 5. It's the HOT problem, and the HOT just stands for higher order thinking. It just pushes you a little bit further than just straight old everyday problems. So on number 10, we have a $20 gift card for an online music store. All the songs at the store have the same price. After Noah buys 3 songs, the balance is $16.25. What will be the remaining balance on the card after he buys 5 more songs? There's lots of information in this problem, and to understand it, I just need to check off what I know. We have a $20 gift card, and we've already bought 3 songs at the same price. Okay, so I'm going to do a little working backwards here, because after Noah buys the 3 songs, there's a $16.25 balance. So if I take the $20 and take away the $16.25, then I get that he has already spent $3.75. Okay, so $3.75 is what he paid for 3 songs. And each of those songs have the same price, so I should be able to divide that $3.75 by 3 songs to get $1.25 per song. Okay, now that isn't the answer, that's simply the price of 1 song. But after I read that sentence, it asks me the question of what will be the remaining balance after he buys 5 more songs. So 5 more songs at $1.25 is going to be $6.25. Let me just check that real quick here. 5 times 1 is 5, and then 5 times 25 cents is $1.25, so $6.25. So $6.25 would be what it costs for 5 more songs, plus the $3.75 that he's already spent. So he will have spent $10 on 8 songs, meaning that what the remaining balance is $20. Take away that $10 means that he has $10 left on his gift card. Okay, so there's other strategies you could have used to solve that same problem. I'm more interested in you showing your work and your thought process on these problems. There will be plenty of times where you can take a shortcut and maybe skip a few steps, but in this case I want to see all of your work, even if it is kind of scattered around here. I don't want you erasing these things. I want you to show your thinking. Remember that you are showing these problems on your daily note sheet right there in that problem, that box. I don't want just the answer. I want the work shown on how you arrived at the answer. The final one that I'm going to look at is problem number 12, is expanding on that essential question of how we can use the 4-step plan to solve a problem that you might encounter in everyday life. And so the example that I'm going to use is coming home to my house and noticing that there's a puddle of water on the floor around the toilet in my bathroom, and it appears as if the toilet is overflowing. So something that I can do really quickly is understand the problem. I understand there's a problem because I walk in and there is a puddle of water on the ground. And so I need to make a plan. I could stand there and scream, but no one's going to come help me if no one's home, and that's not going to get me very far. I could maybe make a plan to get some towels and start cleaning it up, or maybe I can plan to turn off the water as quick as possible so I don't get any more water. Okay. Once I solve the problem, I might mop up the floor, and that is solving the immediate problem, but there's maybe still some more water coming out. And so I do need to go back and make another plan, which is to maybe turn off the water and maybe call my husband or call the plumber and have them come over right away. I could also plan to take off the lid of the toilet to see if something's going on inside there. Those are all different plans. And I don't have to necessarily do them in a certain order, but I do need to have a couple of different plans in place so that if one doesn't work, I can go back from solving it to planning another plan. So checking back in the end, I don't think that calling the plumber first thing is the best plan, because I know that a plumber could charge a couple $100s for just coming over, and I might be able to solve the problem without calling a plumber. So checking back to make sure that I use the right steps and figured out my problem without costing a lot of money is an important part. Sometimes you'll make those mistakes and you'll think, wow, I did not go about that the right way. But you can always learn from those mistakes or learn from those plans that maybe didn't work. So there's an idea of how to use the 4-step plan in everyday life. I'd like for you to come up with another idea of when you could use the 4-step plan outside of the math classroom. That's it for lesson 1-1. It looks like you have a couple of things to do on your homework assignment for lesson 1-1. We have 1 through 8 on your homework practice worksheet, and you also have some problems on your problem solving worksheet. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.